Welcome to another video showing TerranScapes new releases, and this video depicts two pieces in particular: a larger bridge and the bell tower from Hirst Arts. A couple mentioned facts about these different pieces. This bridge is based around the template that I used for previous two bridges, and the main difference here being that I've lengthened it quite a bit. This is currently spanning one of my largest river pieces. This is a 4-inch wide section. It's a 4 inches actually of true water. So you can tell it spans that. Now some of the pieces, because it's a relatively low cut, where there is particularly high vegetation, it does press down on that a little bit and may lift the edge just a little bit. So I recommend that if this is a piece that you're ordering, you could always ask me to make a couple pieces with the spanning of this bridge in mind in particular, so that you could ensure a nice tight fit. But of course, when you receive your pieces, you could always remove a small amount of foliage as well yourself. This bridge, I realized with my previous bridges that one of the things they didn't allow was for full 5 width of cav units or any 25mm base for Warhammer Fantasy to be able to cross together. And since that's the size of 5 ranked models for a variety of units, it seemed like you should at least have one way of crossing a river that lets all of those forces come across in a regularly ranked fashion for the new for the recently released edition of Warhammer. So I wanted to show you, of course, that it does fit. There's actually just a pinch of room to either side, so that you could have a movement tray. I use a very small profile movement tray that only sticks out about maybe 3/16 of an inch from the side, but there is room if you have a slightly thicker movement tray, so that you could squeeze it over the top there. And this bridge features a bit of a sort of I'm not sure what pattern I call this. I don't know if it's a... Anyway, there is an overlapping plank pattern, so it gives it a bit of a stitched pattern in the middle. And it features very similar sides to the other bridges in this series, in which it is a faux stonework. These are resin casts with real wood base for the planking. And the resin cast sides feature brickwork that has a textured surface that picks up the dry brushing very well. And of course, when you go to the to the website, TerranScapes, you can see detailed close-up photos of these that'll show some of that. The second piece for this video is the Hirst Arts bell tower. And just a few mentions about this piece. This is a Hirst Arts design, but one of the things that delayed its release for quite a while was what to do about the center opening here. This opening can be fitted. Bruce Hirst recommends a variety of different ways, from printing out patterns to cutting out intricate lace patterns out of cardstock to actually using lace doilies. And what I did is I decided to try to go for a transparent stained glass look by actually using transparencies and printing onto them. But I realized it was too dark inside and that there was no light coming through the transparency, so it looked very black. So I had to pull these all back out. Then I backed them with white paper, reinserted them back into the tower, and now they show quite nicely through and give you a very nice stained glass effect. The tower features an opening on one side. Wait a minute, there it is. An opening on one side with windows surrounding the other side, although really they're big enough to allow individual models, skirmishing type units to get inside. Platforms that you could place miniatures or statues on there. If you wanted me to place them on there, you could mail me statues to add to this, and I could then paint in the same color scheme so they'd look stone to match the building itself. And of course it features this crenellated top and overlooking the stained glass window. This was one of the pieces when I first looked at Hirst Arts and thought about making terrain. I thought that this was one of the more beautiful pieces that he had developed, and it really makes a stunning piece on the table. It's quite tall. This is a 7-inch tree in the back here. Of course, this bridge is a little over 5 inches wide and 5 inches long, so you can tell it's quite a large building, but it has a relatively small footprint, which really doesn't take up a lot of space on the table, so that you could even have it on a shelf if you had a tall enough shelf opening, or it doesn't obstruct too much of the table, but allows you to have a pretty significantly impressive looking piece in your gaming. And the nice thing is with its Gothic styling, it's really suited to a variety of game systems. You know, it works well for fantasy, well for War Machine, works great for 40K. I'm thinking as I work on my 40K terrain for a future release that you know, perhaps a ruined version of this building might appear in that set. So gives you a little idea of what this building looks like and how big it is and some of the features of it. Of course, if you ever wanted a modification of the building in any way, such as a different kind of stained glass piece, you could always, you know, send me a PDF to print, or you know, if you wanted me to cut out something and actually paint it and have a real 3D lace effect, that could be done for extra cost. Of course, with the bridge, you know, if you wanted to have varying widths, you know, we could have the same length, but I could shrink the width and use, you know, say a 3-inch wide instead of a little over 5. You know, any types of modifications that you're looking for to make this terrain fit your table the best is always possible with TerranScapes. That's one of the things that TerranScapes really does that sets it apart from a bigger manufacturer, is gives you that customization and personal attention. If you have any questions about these products, you can always take a look at TerranScapes.com, see the final photos of them, and also see contact information to reach me to ask about how TerranScapes can meet your gaming needs.